Are you ready in the room?
Ready.
Yes, thank you, Sean.
This is Community Board 2, Manhattan, the December 2025 Landmarks Committee meeting, and it's the only one of this month. We will have the applications, questions from the members of the committee, from the board, invited guests, and the public. And then at the end of all the presentations, we'll have a business meeting to form the resolutions. Everyone's invited to stay for the business meeting, but only members of the committee and invited board members can speak then. The first application is 109 Waverly Place to install a stoop gate. When you're ready, Susan, we can have the applicant.
All right, Mark is elevating the applicants unless Eugene is. Hi, Eugene.
I can elevate them.
Oh, you're here.
Yes, Eugene just arrived.
I didn't have my face up.
Hi, if there's anyone else that needs to be elevated, please raise your hand.
Hello.
Okay. Jesus, is there anyone else from your team that needs to be elevated?
No, it's just me.
Okay, all right.
Yes, I'm trying to share my screen right here.
(109) Waverly.
Yes.
Do we have an agenda? Thank you.
Okay.
My pens.
Okay.
I've looked
Okay.
over your application here. We're well
Yes.
familiar with the block and every house on it and all the reasons. So if you would just skip ahead in the presentation to the existing condition and what you propose. we'll
Okay.
fine with the other.
Okay. Yes.
We could have
Yes.
recited it ourselves.
Yeah. You can see my screen right now.
Yeah, it's fine.
Everyone? Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jesus Torre. I represent property located at 109 Waverly Place in the historic district of Greenwich Village. First of all, I want to thank all the Manhattan Community Board for giving us the opportunity to share this important issue related to this property. I would like to start this presentation with the description of the problem, which is basically that that the property is facing security, safety, and hygiene issues because of the presence of homeless people who used to be sitting, sleeping, stealing packages, and leaving human waste and unsanitary materials which draw insects and rodents and other kind of animals. This directly affects the main entryway to our residents and compromise our sense of safety and the security of our property. As we can see, the property is located at the historic district of Greenwich Village. On this slide, we have a map of previous approved stoop gates in the area. And now we have a comparison image of the historic tax photo from 1940s and the existing condition of the property. In this one, we have close-up pictures of the property from left, front, and right sides. Now we arrive to the description of the work, which is basically that we want to install a security ornamental iron stoop gate at the bottom step of the existing front stair of the property. The intent for the gate is to recreate the existing railing design as similar as possible in order to promote the historic site preservation aspect of the existing ironwork. With the stoop gate, we can feel more secure, cleaner, and safer from homeless or stranger people who is causing us all these worries to the family. Now we can see the rendering of the front elevation, which is basically give us a view of how the gate will look like after the installation. In this, we can see the proposed gate details. The gate will be manufactured in New York, so everything will be ready when the gate arrives for the installation. The installation is going to take 1 hour. On this slide, we can see the attachment methods between the existing railing post and the gate post that we'll be using, which is a basic attachment of top and bottom points. In this one, we can see an above view of the gate and the sidewalk clearance space in reference from the front step of the staircase. On this one, we brought previous approved drawing with similar characteristic of our proposed gate. That stoop gate was approved last September 8, 2025 by the Landmark Preservation Commission. Now we can see the before and after of the last.
Okay, if you just skip over all these examples, we know about them and they're being approved.
Okay.
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 Oh, sorry.
Yeah. We actually going to bring more examples at the end. So yeah, so basically I want to finish this presentation by evoking the New York Real Property Law, section right to exclude, which states that as a homeowner, you have the legal right to prevent others from entering or staying on your property without consent. With that being said, we want to execute our right to protect our family and property, and we hope to count with your help. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Would you go back to the drawing of your there? Is that one? Yeah. Is the gate self-closing?
Yes, it's self-closing. It says here it's going to be with self-closing system.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you. Members of the committee may have questions.
Yeah, hi. I have a question. Can you explain in a little more detail or perhaps zoom in on how the gate attaches to the existing ironwork?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Yeah, basically we're going to create an adaptation, a flat post adaptation in a vertical line, and it's going to be attached right on the top and right on the bottom, and it's shown on the image.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody else have a question? Anita and then Brian.
I guess just visually, to me, that what are you calling it, a post that the hinged gate is attached to? It seems very thin, very flimsy, and the size of these gates are enormous. You have a 45-inch wide gate, which is going to swing halfway into the sidewalk as well.
Yeah, you mean the space of the attachment, or after?
I'm just, the moment arm. If you have a heavy gate opening and it's being held by something that, even if it only visually looks flimsy, but it does, it looks flimsy to me that little bar is hanging. There's a lot of force on that.
Yes. Actually, the gate is going to include a self-closing system that is going to allow the pedestrian to be safe. And after the gate is open, the clearance space is going to be around 3 feet. So that's going to be enough space for pedestrian to walk around the gate without no problem. In addition, in order to avoid any accident or prevent accidents, the left side panel of the gate is the one who will be opening, and the right side panel is going to permanently be closed. It's only going to be open for heavy loads.
Okay, thank you.
So I have another question. Were you showing us the next door neighbor as one of the examples with the gates? I guess it would be 111 or 113.
This one?
On Waverly, 113 or 111 on Waverly. So what
113.
yeah, what,
No,
basically, so if you have a view of the outside of your house, go back to the existing view of the houses on that street. Yeah,
He doesn't really have them. I
Yeah.
was just looking, they're all.
so if, on the right-hand side photo, if you had taken a shot that was a little bit wider, you would see that the neighbor has what looks like an exact replica of what you're trying to do. Is that what,
Can you repeat your question, please? The signal is so good.
all right. Your next door neighbor at 111, I'll say, Waverly Place, has the exact same gates that you're proposing. I was wondering, it looks like all the detailing on all of these townhouses are the same. Did you verify that this matches your neighbors and so forth?
Yes. We basically create the design of the gate, and the intent for the gate is to recreate the existing railing design as similar as possible in order to promote the historic site preservation aspect of the existing ironwork.
Okay, would you go back to the slide where you, or the picture where you have the floor plan?
Okay. This one?
Yes. So on the right side, you have an indication of 6 feet of clearance from the stoop step to the curb. On the left side, you have something that looks like 8 feet.
Yes, because the 6 feet is from here, from the front step of the staircase to the end of the sidewalk. But we in the other side we include the step itself, so the dimension is going to change.
It's not too big.
Hey, all
Doesn't make
right.
sense.
So you're 6 foot of clearance and the gate is going to come out about 3 feet into the sidewalk.
Yeah, and 3 feet clearance space is going to be left.
Yeah.
See it.
Big, it's a big gate.
That's a big gate, yeah.
That's the problem, not just very big. It's over 3 feet.
That's
3
the
foot
only
6.
kind of gates that we see on any of the stoops that we've approved.
Actually, this gate is similar to this one. So it looks like wider on the picture, but actually it's like that. It's going to be as similar as this one, So it's not going to be that big, to be honest. This one, the right panel is going to be permanently closed, and the access size is going to be the left side of the panel of the gate. So, and it's going to count with a self-closing system, so the gate is not going to be permanently open.
And one last question then on Jane
Yes, sir.
Street, is that the hinge posts on both sides, are those the same kind of hinge posts that you're proposing welded to
Yes,
the existing railings?
yes, sir. Yes, the attachment method is took from this one.
Okay, well,
Oh, it will
I
be
guess it
attached.
worked. Yeah, it'll be welded to the,
It doesn't show that in their drawing though.
One other question from me, please, which is that on page 9 of your proposed gate detail, it looks like the ornament on top of the gate is one thing, but on page 12, it looks like a slightly different design. Can you tell us which it will be and why they have two different designs?
Yeah, because the first one that you mentioned is for 109 Waverly Place. That is a similar but not exact design. You know, it's not a copy of the other design. This one on page 12, it was for 42 Jane Street. That was
Okay. Oh, I see. I'm sorry. I didn't read it carefully enough. Thank you.
you are very
Apologies.
welcome.
Thank you.
You are very welcome.
Can I just ask,
Thank you.
is there a gate on either of the houses to the right and the left of your property?
There is a gate in the area way of the property.
No, on the adjacent property,
On the stoop, you
the
mean?
stoop of the adjacent property.
Actually, yes, I think next to the right side there is one with one stoop gate. Yeah.
yeah, in this picture, you can see it on the
Right.
background.
Well, I mean, I think we should see that. I mean, it's a very important point. We're going to see the two of them together, people walking by. I mean, I don't know why in the world you would not include that picture of the one adjacent. Is there any way you can pull it up from somewhere and show us? Google Maps or something?
I can, what's it up, but that was as it wasn't the property that we want to be focused, so we didn't, like.
So this is between the 5th and 6th Avenue, which is a very
It can't be
intense.
resolved with what we have, so it looks like a very similar gate to all the others.
Washington Square Park.
Well,
Yeah.
This is my photo of the neighbor.
Yeah, the next house has a stoop gate, like is recreate as similar as the
Difficult problem.
existing ironwork.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Any other questions?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
All right, we'll move to the public now. Is there anybody from the public who wishes to speak? All right, well, we don't see any hands raised, so we
Yeah,
will.
I just had a question. Maybe I missed it in the
John,
beginning.
yes.
Yeah, maybe I missed it in the beginning. What, the chain that you have there, the link chain does not keep people out? Is that right?
And again, sir?
The chain that is currently there, you have a chain there that does, I came in a minute late. Does that mean the chain does not keep the homeless and the derelicts
no.
out?
No, in first instance, we try to put the chain, but people jump it.
Okay.
People jump it. Yeah.
It's all over the village where they're not.
Yeah, I have no doubt that that's the case. All right. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
The next application is 140, 142 West 4th Street. To
So-
install two safety gates at the front entrance of 140 and 142 West 4th.
Great, so I'm promoting Ilya. If there is anybody else for this application, please raise your hand on the Zoom. Otherwise, it looks like we have just one person Ilya Benitz. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yes, hey, how are you? Thanks for your time this evening.
If I might say again, we're very familiar with the reason, if you just heard the previous application,
Exactly.
really
So,
seeing the present condition and your proposal that we're after.
right. So all exactly the same reasons, except this is a wider stoop in a much more trafficked area with those same reasons kind of escalated a little bit. So this is the existing condition at 140 West 4th Street. Location in the historic district. South Village.
Excuse me, I'm going to interrupt you to let you know that you're not sharing your screen right now.
I am so sorry.
That's okay.
So this is
Okay.
140 West 4th Street. So same concerns as the previous presenter, except our stoop is wider and in a much more trafficked street. So the problems are slightly escalated in our condition. This is the location in the historic district. This is the site plan. This is the tax photo of the building. Again, the existing facade. Zoomed in area of the stoop in question. And here's the proposed design. We're proposing a symmetrical design with two operable gates on self-closing hinges. Each operable gate is 2 feet wide and will be anchored to the first step of the stoop, so it won't attach to the existing railing. And so we would have about a 1'2" fixed portion, and then a 2-foot operable portion, and then a symmetrical 2-foot operable portion, and another 1'2" portion. And again, very simple, kind of tubular steel painted black, because there really isn't an ornamental precedent to pull from for this building. And again, just to familiar and these are, again, the gate security gate precedents within the district as we've seen before. Thank you.
Each one, you said the double gate is how wide altogether, or 1/2 of it?
So altogether, it's a 4-foot operable gate with two 2-foot segments.
Okay. And is it automatically closing?
Yeah, self-closing.
Okay, thanks. Susan?
Does anybody have any questions?
No?
Yes, well, just a minor point on the site plan. You do indicate 140 West 4th, but this is for both buildings. So I would think that the presentation would show 140 and 142 if you propose to put a gate on 142.
Right. I have another presentation for 142, just showing those specific conditions at 142. But it's essentially it's identical to this.
Oh, I see. So you have two presentations. You're showing us one because the other one is identical.
Correct.
Okay.
So just to confirm that the gate on the other one is identical in every way to this one.
Yes, and I could show you the existing conditions there as well. 1 second, I can just
Thank
so
you.
you can see those as well. 1 second.
So you indicate that it's only 2 feet high. That seems bizarre. Something that you could step over very easily.
It's just more of a deterrent, so that anybody who's thinking of sitting down or making themselves comfortable just has a little bit, doesn't have the space to do so. So I think it's a low profile deterrent that we think it would be a good solution for this situation.
I was also curious because you do have the stoop at 140 and 142, but you have 4 sets of stairs going down to 4 tenant restaurants. So you've got loads and loads of stairs on your buildings. It seems to me that putting a little bit of a barrier there on rather a short stoop. It's not as high and as grand as these other townhouses that we see. In fact, this isn't a townhouse, it's a tenement. So I really feel like the character of the building and of the street is so very different than a single family type of house. So I really have to wonder whether you block this set of stairs, but you got two sets of stairs right next to them, and it doesn't really seem to fit.
Well, the owner is really receiving complaints from the tenants in the building, and it's after hours in the evenings. Each building has 24 apartments, and the problems really occur when people come and go, later in the day. And the restaurants, they kind of police their own spaces, but the space here with the common walkway, there isn't really anybody there with eyes on it during business hours to keep it clear. So we're looking really for a solution for the residential tenants at this point, which are the ones that are really experiencing the issues that you have all heard about.
Are we going to see another presentation for the next Jason?
So this is 142 West 42nd Street. Again, a very an identical building with retail flanking a central entryway. It's located just right next to 140 West 4th Street, as you can see here on the map. And again, this is the close-up view of that sidewalk perspective, and then another further close-up of the stairs themselves. And again, you could see the same design for that building as well, with two operable gates, followed by two fixed columns on each side for sturdiness, connected to the first step of the staircase.
Well, I would just say that I think these are very low, and not that I necessarily want them bigger, but I can imagine coming down the stairs and reaching down to open the gate. You are really leaning over, whereas if it were a little taller, it would be safer.
That's a fair point. Yeah.
And I think it looks kind of like a doll fence, it's like, get a real human-sized one in there would be good.
Mm-hmm.
One other question regarding the height of the proposed gate is there any reason that you think that 2 feet will actually be effective in deterring people from, invading your staircase there? Because 2 feet isn't that much.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right in terms of the coming down. I didn't think of that, and I think I would consider raising it to 2'6". But I think if somebody really wants to get on the other side of a fence, I think any fence that that you see or you walk by, if anybody really has an intention to get on the other side, they could. It's not like it's like padlocked. But I think you're right. I will raise this fence to 30 inches based on your feedback today. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Anybody from the public? Okay, there are no hands raised, so we'll move on. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next application is 491 Broadway and 446 Broome Street to replace windows at both front and rear facades.
Great. I'm promoting Chris Teeter. If there is anybody else for this application, please raise your hand in the Zoom.
I think you joined me already.
All right. Okay, great, Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris Teeter. I'm the tenant's architect. The there's actually two facades, but the same apartment. It's the same building. So it's unit 9, which is the 9th floor. And she's proposing to replace both facades. They're different types of windows. I could probably start with Broome first and then move to Broadway. I could share my screen if you like. So I don't know if you want to start with designation photos from landmarks. I could show you those first. And I can just point out where we're doing work on both facades. This is the Broadway side. We're on the 9th floor here. I don't know if you can see my cursor. What I'll do is I'll show you my construction drawings. We're right here with at the 9th floor. This is the 9th floor on Broadway. This is the lower level of Broadway. Again, we're up over in this area. That's where we're placing the windows. This is the Broome Street side. There's not a good designation photo for the Broome Street. I'll show you more current photos. And these are actually close up. And these, I believe, are close to the original wood. And that's what we're proposing to replace. There's one of the reasons you don't see a lot, there's a fire escape that goes the full height of Broome Street. And I'll jump back to my drawings.
Were those original, the photographs that you just showed us?
Yeah, I believe those are original. They're wood, they're plate glass, there's chains in the tracks. So if not, they're very close to the original.
And they're two over what?
Yes. Hold on. Let me see if I can find a better photo. Here, actually, I'll just go to my drawings. Broome Street.
Like 1/1.
They're 1/1 on that side. Sorry, 1/1 on that. Yeah. And so we're replacing all these. And so for the Broome Street side, we were proposing a simulated double hung, the company's Icon windows. What that means is that the bottom sash is a tilt and turn. It doesn't move up and down. So that's one of the reasons we're here. We're going to match the brick mold. We're matching as close as possible on the wood profiles. So that's the Broome Street side. The 491, which is the Broadway Street side, we're proposing tilt and turn casements completely. So it does not appear like a double hung. However, we do have a backup if you request it. We can do with this company, with Icon, they can give me a bar that down the middle to make it appear as a double hung. And again, we're on the 9th floor, so I believe this might achieve the effect that we're to match.
I have a question about how you're showing it. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
Sure.
The hinge is on the bottom in the section, but the hinge is indicated on the top. Am I wrong? Shouldn't the hinge be? It's very confusing to me. I don't think it's consistent.
Well,
Anyway,
can I ask, is there a master plan for the windows in the building?
There is not. That was one of our first questions. There is no master plan. And it's also two facades. So.
Shouldn't there be?
Well, it certainly does seem like it. So on the Broadway side, just to clarify what you have said, you're only dealing with the 9th level windows?
Yeah.
Correct. We're only this floor right here.
And on the Broome Street side, you're doing just that 9th floor too?
Exactly. My tenant is the 9th. My client is the tenant on the 9th floor, and that's all we're
Okay,
proposing
well,
to change.
I think that whoever the landlord is, they should be presenting a master plan, because we're gonna end up with a mishmash of
Right.
windows, and that's not good. And what you presented is, it's not that what you presented is necessarily offensive, but it certainly doesn't fit the rest of the windows, so that's a problem. And just for clarification on my part, it looks like Broome Street windows are double glazed, and they're being replaced with triple glazed, which makes me think this is residential.
Our floor is residential. The 9th floor is an apartment. Correct.
And how about, do you know about the rest of the floors?
All the 3 through 12 are all residential, and 1 and 2 is commercial. And as far as your master plan, my client is trying to head the way with other things such as HVAC units on the roof. There's no coordination currently on the building, so she is trying to head the way on that. But right now, there's no master plan, and we're probably the first to present a change here on the windows.
Is this a co-op or a rental?
Yeah, I believe it's a co-op. I'm fairly certain. Yeah, and there's still
Okay,
some
well,
artist
look, we
lots
just,
on other floors.
we're gonna short circuit this. We can't approve this without a master plan, period.
For the windows. Okay, and on both facades, correct?
Yes.
Yes. You
Okay.
understand, I hope you can understand what our issue is.
Just a moment. Where
Here.
does this come from that we can't have a proposal without a master plan? We can say that we prefer one, but I
Well,
don't believe.
You can, okay, I can't deal with it.
Well, we can object to.
We will,
All
all
right.
right, we'll talk about that in
We should
our,
let him
we'll
finish.
talk about that in
Okay.
our business session.
That's a good idea.
We'll move that discussion to our business session. But anyway, to the applicant, I hope you can understand what our concern is.
No, I don't necessarily disagree because it is 2 very nice facades, and I would say that's. However, we do want to move in and finish our construction. So if we lead the way on the Broome Street, matching wood double hungs or allowing a simulated double hung as proposed, and then on the Broadway side, allowing for what appears to be a double hung, that would be great. But if that's, again, that's our proposal.
Right, but your windows would not in any way bind somebody on the 7th floor or the 10th floor or whatever, who might have a different way of dealing with this. And so I think this is sort of a bigger issue than
our project.
than
yeah,
your
sure.
windows. So,
Yeah.
all right. Are there any other questions?
I have a question about the windows themselves.
Okay.
The tilt and turn question, why not casement windows if it's a casement window?
Well, we did look at that, but in the end, for the purposes of her operation, I like to use them and cleaning, that's what she pushed for, and that was the order that's what we ultimately picked with Icon.
And again, on the Broadway side, there are no mullions.
We're proposing no mullions, so these are the full.
And
shot
what is the
plan.
current, could you just compare that? Okay, that's just.
That's what we're proposing right there, and then if you go to current on Broadway,
And
it
if you
does
go back to-
even match double hung. What's there? These sliders
Okay,
and a
I
transom
want
on
to see
top.
what is the current condition of the one you just showed us as the plain glass? Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, these are the. Let me see if I have a more recent photo, but they're not in great shape. Is the short answer, and they're not double hungs either.
I'm just looking at the design.
They don't look original either.
Dealing
No.
with, just a moment, dealing with not the question of the master plan, but the question of what it looks like now. This would be the only expanse of unmullioned windows on that facade, is that correct?
We'd be proposing
Okay,
no
That's
mullions.
it, yes,
Yeah,
okay.
correct. Yes.
That's the explanation, thank you.
However, we have an alternate to make the appearance of a double hung. Icon windows can supply a bar that goes horizontally across within the window and makes it appear as if it was a double hung.
But that's still one.
It would still be one functioning still as one.
It's just-
Exactly. Yeah.
Just like gluing it on, right, okay. Oh, I think we understand.
It looks like Brian has
I
something
haven't
to
opened
say.
other questions.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Chanel.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If I haven't opened other questions, we can continue.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
All right. If you could just go back to the exterior elevation again of the building. Yes. It looks like level 7 has almost identical types of existing windows as 9. Is that an
Yeah,
accurate?
that's correct, but if you look at the designation photo, whenever those were put in, 7 and 9, which appear to be sliders and transoms, they wouldn't have been original to the building. The building would have had double hungs originally.
Would have
but-
had double hung wood windows, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well,
Okay.
that's my opinion in there. Okay.
Okay. All right. Are there any questions or comments from the public?
Oh, sorry.
All right, there are no raised hands. So we will move on.
Where's Pete?
Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Pete Davis.
He's there, but he's quiet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
22 East 10th Street to demolish a rear yard extension and construct a new rear yard extension and rooftop addition, modify the gardens and restore the front facade. When you're ready, please.
So could the, yes, so Jason Allen, I'm promoting to a panelist. If there's anyone else for this applicant, please raise your hand. Looks like we have a single presenter.
Yep, it's me. Hello.
Okay.
Just gonna share my screen. Can you see that?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great. All right, good evening. Jason Allen with Workshop Design and Architecture, on behalf of 22 East 10th Street. The site is located 3 blocks north of Washington Square Park, in the historic district of Greenwich Village. The 2 photo montages of the block to the right, the existing and the proposed, illustrate the proposed bulk in the context elevation at the bottom. But we can see along the block here a number of rooftop extensions and skylights. Sorry. There we go. The block plan, our site is highlighted in red with the proposed massing shown. The larger buildings, bracketing, the avenues, the interior of the block is predominantly made up of 4- and 5-story buildings. Plotted on the rooftops in red are various rooftop elements. These are artist skylights and artist studios at the tops of these buildings along East 10th Street. Just an aerial view to give some context from the northwest. So you can see a variety of larger multifamily buildings surrounding context, and then sort of the interior of these lower 4- and 5-story row homes that have developed over the years. It's been a variety of rear and rooftop additions highlighted on the map. Our neighbor 24 East 10th, directly east of us, just completed their rear yard enlargements. And then there's a number of other existing interventions along the top here, studio spaces at D and E, and then 2 new applications at the back, F and G, rooftop enlargements and rear enlargements as well. This is the historic photo, which illustrates 22, our property, and 24. They were built at the same time in a Greek revival style. 24 went through a variety, or I'm sorry, 22 went through a variety of interventions. Windows were grouped, lintels were combined, and the attic story was expanded to a full story. And then 2 large artist skylights were added above. There we go. This is the existing additions at the rear. Front rear photos. 24 to the east of us. You can see the windows facing our yard here. This is almost complete, this renovation. These were originally part of the single application to combine both properties. The owner at 24 sold this property to us, and this work will involve taking down this extension and repurposing and redistributing the area into the new bulk and adding a rooftop. Front elevations of the existing and the proposed, existing on the left. No changes to the approved scope previously from Stephen Harris's application. The only work change on the front is going to be the work above the cornice line shown here. You can see the two original artist skylights on the left side. Our new penthouse is going to incorporate a similar bulk, maintaining the original pitch and the glazed front, and a wraparound terrace on 3 sides.
Is it fair to say then that the appearance will be an artist skylight as it is now?
Yeah, we're incorporating the from the street. Yes, it'll
look like an artist skylight,
more or less. But behind the back side of the artist skylight will be, you know, purpose space, you know, habitable space, unlike an artist skylight, which generally just an opening. I think this may be a more illustrative site plan comparison, the existing at the top and our proposed at the bottom. This is the two artist skylights front and back. This is the glazed pitched front. And you can see we're basically superimposed our penthouse on that, on both of these skylights. And from the street side, you'll read this glass. You can see the rear bulk. This was a 27-foot rear yard. We're shaving that back, creating a 30-foot rear yard at the base, setting back another 2.5 feet, going up 4 stories before we reach the top story, and then roof above that. It's a 10-foot setback. So you can see the elevation comparison, existing and proposed. This is the bulk that's coming down the 4-story and the 2-story at the base. We're going to use a complementary red brick. It's somewhere tonally between the 2 buildings to the east and west of us. And we're going to use punched openings from floor levels 2 through 4, grouped openings at the bottom, and some decorative ironwork at the window openings and at the terraces. Above, you can see the back side of the penthouse.
Excuse me, are you giving an introduction and going back, or are you completing each section? I'm just asking because we need to get dimensions and that sort of thing.
I can, you know, I have an appendix with full dimensions, and we can look at that in more detail at the end.
Okay, that's
okay.
good.
Yeah.
Then we'll go back and I'll ask.
Yeah, it's a lot to cover, so this will maybe be broader scope, and then we can get into like dimensions at the very end. This is an aerial. We modeled 2 bird's eye views of the existing and proposed, just so you can get a sense of the massing and the context. You know, it's layered. It's been developed over a number of years, but there has been recent renovations at our neighbor and at 24. They just completed this. Again, these 2 parcels were together at LPC at one time. It was approved with a slightly different bulk than what we have. He's since sold off this property, and we've gone back and redone the massing. But this is basically a general overview of the 2 massing concepts. This is a rendered view from the rear with materials and context. Got the punch windows, The standard floors, and then a grouped opening at the base, and then the penthouse setback up top. This is the sectional illustration of the proposed rear yard lowering, approximately 2'8" from the walkout basement level, the existing walkout basement level. And we're increasing the yard from 27 feet to 30 feet with our setback and an additional 2'3" after that. So 32 feet. Cellar is also lowered and extended to the back. We're setting back 5 feet from the rear property line. And we'll use that as a 5-foot planted buffer zone between us and the neighboring property. So full sectional illustration, the existing building outlined in red, superimposed on our geometry. You can see we're picking up some of the geometry of the skylight on the side of the penthouse facade. So we're going to use a contrast in materials to kind of superimpose that silhouette onto our penthouse. So from the street, we'll have a familiar reading like the existing skylight. I think it's better in this view here. So a couple things happening. We're extending the chimney up on this side. It's going to block the visibility of some of the penthouse. There's that contrast in materials. Same geometry as the skylight. And then back, further back in the penthouse, less visible, a lighter material. So more reading on the front skylight silhouette. This is the mock-up conditions on the roof, just color-coded. Got the chimney extensions in green, the elevator overrun in yellow, and then the mechanical and penthouse in orange, and then our parapet in blue. So a few views from context. We've got the views in this key map up here, 1, 2, and 3. With slight visibility, seasonal visibility from the corner here of the chimney extensions and the penthouse in views 1, and in view 2, it's a bit more of just the chimney extension. Not much visibility as we head further west. As we move across the university, our proximity to the avenue in the corner, we've got a little bit more exposure on these sides, but I think the most exposure comes between the gap in those two taller buildings in view 6. So I'll flip to that. This is a zoomed in view of 6. So you could see the elevator overrun, the penthouse, and the chimney extensions. On the left, mocked up. On the right, it's a photo montage of those conditions. And further zoomed in on the next slide here. Got an appendix at the end with plan comparison. So if you have dimensional questions, I can ask you. I mean, I can answer your questions now if you have any specific dimensional questions.
Back to where the penthouse is how big? How deep and how tall and how wide?
So setback 6 feet for a fire path on the eastern edge, and then it's set back another 6 foot at the front, but it's in line with the existing footprint of the skylight. And then we've got I think it's a 7 foot setback at the rear. To zoom in. Excuse me, 5 feet at the rear. So the entire
The
The
height
depth
is,
of the penthouse is about 38.5 feet by 17.5.
and how high is it is the real question.
We have 8 foot 10 clear on the inside. It's another foot above that for the roof, so about 10 feet. And then the bulkhead, the elevator bulkhead projects up above that. Let me just try to go to the next slide. It's another 2 feet above that. So this is the elevator bulkhead. Mechanical screen isn't visible. That's about 3.5 feet tall.
That's fine. And the rear extension from the original facade at the rear.
So this original yard was 27 feet deep to this point, and we're going to be 30 feet deep. So we've added additional 3 feet at the base, and then we're setting back another 2'3". So we'll have 32.3 for floors 2, 3, and 4. And then we set back 10 feet and we align with our neighbor at 24.
The garden is up 24 feet deep then.
No, the garden itself will be 30 feet deep.
30 feet will be left once this is done.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we have this 5-foot planted buffer at the back that LPC requested that we don't build up to the back lot line.
If we could look at the section of for the garden and the excavation and so forth.
Sure. Just gonna zoom into that area for you.
This was apartments before.
Now, is the cellar itself excavated further?
Yes, it is. So from the existing level to the front basement, it's 4'5", and at the back, it's 6'5". So our clearances inside are 8 feet 9'4". But that was the extent that we discussed with Landmarks in terms of the excavation.
There's nothing excavated under the garden now, right?
No, no.
Oh, it's just
Not at all.
lower.
The building actually physically ends right about here. There are a few crawl spaces, but they're really not accessible.
And what about underpinning in connection with this?
Yes, there will be an underpinning application in connection with the structural application for the scope of work.
And to what's the extent of it?
Oh, on our neighboring buildings, on both sides will be underpinning.
So it's the whole length of the building on both sides?
Right.
And the garden, does the garden, it abuts the extension of the other building, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, there's a building.
So all the excavation on both sides, full length, is underpinned.
Yes.
Okay. Will the committee carry on with questions, and I'll review my notes to see if I've others.
Yeah, does anybody have any questions?
Well, I would just say that you've certainly presented a very handsome change to the building. The previous configuration of that parlor floor or whatever was at the street level.
I'm sorry, Brian, I didn't get to the front. Could I just finish my notes and then we'll go on?
Go.
We didn't realize you had more questions, Chanel.
Right.
I'm sorry, I didn't either. I just got back to the front. I was so hung up with the back.
Oh, that's no problem at all. Here we are.
Okay, I see that the question was the height of the parlor floor window.
Correct. Yeah, this was altered. And in the previous application that's Stephen had presented to LPC, I have it in the back here. They proposed
Are
raising.
you
the-
reproducing what went already?
Yeah.
Okay, was that approved?
Yeah, that was. We don't plan on making any changes from like the neck down, let's call it, from the cornice line down. It's from the previous application.
And all that is approved and you're
Yeah. Yeah, let me just show you that. Sorry, it's in the appendix.
taking the previous application and requesting modifications of it.
Yeah, mainly our modifications are at the rear and at the penthouse. Stephen did not have a penthouse in his. Here it is. I just brought it up for you.
Okay. Susan,
Sorry.
yeah, sorry.
I should have made that clear. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right, Brian, you had something.
Well, then restore front facade as part of this application, and that's what I thought we were going to be talking about. But what you've just pointed out is that really restoring the front facade is previously approved. So
That's correct.
all right. Well, the other question that, just out of curiosity, when you showed number 24 and its rear yard, it looks like there is no rear yard in number 24.
That is correct.
Wonder how they got away with that.
The historic precedent.
We approved it. It was a
Yeah.
rearrangement of existingness thing.
Yeah.
A redesigning of it. They kept the footprint of what had been done
Oh,
and redid.
okay, makes sense. All right. I
One of the
think,
longest discussions ever in this committee.
and then, okay, yeah, in that case, then just on your rear facade, I like it's so much cleaner and it actually looks more like an original back of townhouse. So I'm pleased with that. Punch windows too.
Yes.
What kind of windows?
They'll either be aluminum clad wood or aluminum. We haven't yet determined that. I have to speak with LPC.
Yeah, I don't have any comments on the rear, other than I think it's I don't really care for that super high parapet above the top windows. It just looks kind of out of character without a cornice or without, it just is a big blank space. But we can maybe talk about the rooftop whenever we're ready. Somebody has something.
Do you have something you want to say about the roof?
Yeah, I just wanted to see the renderings that you have of what's visible.
Yes.
Sometimes it's so lucky when you have these tall buildings nearby. That's the one on the right-hand side?
Yes.
And you've rendered it white, is that right?
We're going to use a light colored zinc. I think also what you're reading is, we've done this chimney extension here, which is going to block a portion of it. So we'll continue the existing brick up. And then, this is a requirement for ventilation. And then we'll have this light colored zinc here, the darker zinc for the silhouettes of the former skylight. And then you've got a bit of background building noise, I think, in here, which maybe helps us. There are taller buildings, on the university, but also at the other end of the block. So that creates a little bit of background noise. I don't think you're seeing this silhouette necessarily striking a line in the sky. It's more, part of a backdrop, I'd say. So that's what helps.
So zoom in on I don't understand what I'm looking at. It looks like a Mondrian painting, and I don't think that's what you're.
There's a
On the
lot.
left, what is the black and the?
Yeah, help us understand that, please.
Yes. All right. I'll take you through it. This is, if you could see my cursor, this is the existing chimney currently. So we're going to replicate we're going to take a similar brick and extend this up. And and, extend the flue. So that'll be 3 feet above our addition. We're gonna build a little bit fill in a little bit of the parapet to give us our required railing height of 42 inches. That's gonna happen on this side of the chimney over here. And then our actual physical space is set back about 7.5 feet from the lot line. Subtract a bit of that for the parapet thickness, and then we have a 6-foot fire access path coming along here. So that pushes this facade back, 7 feet from the lot line itself physically. And then we have these 2 windows, which are visible here. Zinc cladding, flat panel, zinc.
Well, show me the windows again, I'm sorry.
These 2 little elements right here.
They're windows?
Yeah, I mean, they're getting cut off from the perspective, your viewpoint is lower. So you're only seeing like the tops of them. You're seeing like maybe a quarter of the window.
Right, because we're looking at this in 2 dimensions and the windows are rendered in a similar color to the light zinc, it's easy to not see them as windows. So thank you for explaining.
Yeah, no problem at all. Yeah, and in the front here, we had a contrasting zinc. You can get a darker finish to sort of create that silhouette of the original skylight itself.
If while the windows are being discussed, clearly it's visible. There's no question about it. The question is whether does it disturb in its visibility? Certainly, we're seeing slotting glass
Right.
doors or windows, whichever they are, as opposed to something with historic reference. This is something that would normally be, if it was going to be at all, would be in the back and wouldn't be seen at all. And I just wonder if there's something we could do so that what is visible is so modern and stark.
Yeah, or break down the scale. The scale is off for an old house, usually the windows are maybe 3 feet wide. This looks like a 6-foot wide slider.
Enough of it shows that you know what it is.
But we can talk about it.
We can talk about that in the business
I think
session.
later we'll discuss. Yeah, but know that that's a concern.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, is this currently configured as apartments and is it being returned to a 1-family house, or is it currently a 1-family house that's just being redone?
Oh, it's gonna have a new C of O. So yeah, it's currently configured as several apartments, but it's since been I'd say when they disassociated the 2 lots that were originally combined as 1 single-family house, they had already done the work of the interior demolition, so it's hard for me to even tell what was there before.
Oh, I see.
But yeah,
Okay.
it was like about 3 or 4 apartments in that building, but none of that is left.
So what was approved as a 1-family house.
Yeah, a combo.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was a big house. Very
Yeah. Never big enough, apparently. All right, thank you. Does anybody else have any questions? All right, we should go to the public then, or should I?
There's more on the basement if the committee are finished.
We're finished.
I just want to talk about the excavation. Just know that we have an elaborate language about excavations. You've represented that the engineering studies have not been done, but will be, and we'll have language basically to approve, provided that any number of steps are taken that are normal. So
That's
It's all rubble foundation wall, right?
yeah, we had I didn't share this, but we have when this is part of a larger project, we have the engineering from that job already. Our engineer is currently utilizing, the borings and the other bottom of foundation, foundations for his work. So there is some upfront work that's already been done. They're obviously in process now of completing their new engineering design. But we're fairly close to what the original the design was. That
If
was
you're
written.
modifying the original excavation.
Yeah, I would say our modification exists in
Say
the
that is
extension.
important because it's not
Yeah.
from scratch.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Is there
Yeah,
anybody,
thank you.
is there anybody from the public who wishes to speak? All right, no raised hands, so we will move on. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Green.
You ready, Susan? You ready?
Eugene, have you moved the applicants over?
So the applicants for the next, if they could raise their hands in the Zoom.
Here, he's here.
Are you
I'm not the architect, I'm a resident. We are.
I'll read the application.
They're going to present.
To install diamond plate over
Are you
the
presenting?
I'm not, I was just.
light.
Okay, good, good, good. Are they here?
I was not for it.
Can I say something? Sean?
Sure.
Yeah, I have, as you can see, I have to leave. And I've read the presentation. Can I make a comment? Is what I really would like permission to do.
Well, I think,
And we have your written one, so you can summarize it briefly.
This is on the green.
Okay, for years, I remember on this committee, the old commission permitted to put diamond plating over these outdated, broken glass crystals. All of a sudden, they're changing their mind. It's really nutty. Where are we going to get this kind of money, millions of dollars? And secondly, does that mean that we can start sending in violations of people who have 95% of the sidewalks that have this diamond plating? I doubt they got permission. So is someone going to start violating them, and all of SoHo has to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars for this outdated, broken concept that in a couple of years is going to be leaking again? So I'm strongly support this. Thank you.
thanks, Sean.
Okay, is
Okay.
the applicant ready?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Hi, my name is Beyhan Karahan. I'm the principal of Beyhan Karahan and Associates Architects. Today, we're presenting with my colleague Natalie Medina. We have originally submitted a proposal to Landmarks on May 1st, 2025. We waited for several weeks and we did not hear from them. And later on, we were contacted by the attorney of Landmarks, and we were told that our project could not be reviewed on the staff level because of a 27 special permit that was given for our project. So from here on, and so Natalie will now continue for the presentation.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yes, I'm just pulling it up. Just 1 second. Okay. Does everyone see my screen? No.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. I have the wrong screen here. Okay. Okay. So our project is 54 Green Street. It's located at the corner of Greene and Broome. It's in the SoHo Cast Iron District. The scope of work is for the installation of the diamond plate over the existing deteriorated bullet glass panel. As Beyhan mentioned, although this scope would be typically approved at staff level, since this build is subject to a special permit with a restrictive declaration, that's why we're here presenting today. So here we have the 1940 tax map image, as well as the 2024 image after Restoration was performed on the facade and completed by our office. As you can see in the photo, the building's in great conditions, and the owners have taken great care to maintain its historic features. Over the years, they have sealed the cracks in the bullet glass frames and have replaced the broken vault lights in kind regularly. However, due to the natural wear and tear of the constant traffic in the area and the elements like rain and snow that the panels are subjected to, the typical maintenance of these vault glass panels is no longer sufficient. The vault lights no longer seal around the edges, and every time it rains, the basement gets flooded, and it has caused a lot of deterioration to important building equipment housed underneath. Ownership is looking to provide immediate, economically feasible solution to address the water infiltration issues to prevent further damage to the historic panels and to the structure and equipment of the building. This is a plan of the existing ground floor plan and the current conditions at the sidewalk level. On the Greene Street side, we have the entry here that it's already covered in diamond plate. Then we have concrete along most of the facade of the building. And at the corner, we have the steps into the commercial space covered in diamond plate. And then it's surrounded by bullet glass all around on the sidewalk, and granite flags on the outer side of the sidewalk. The commercial space on the east side on Broome Street has bullet glass steps that are exposed, as does the egress stair at the top of the Broome Street. Our plan here, which we have color coded, wait, go back one. The light pink shows the existing diamond place, which is, as I mentioned, on the entry to the residential lobby, as well as the commercial space in the corner. And in the maroon here, we're seeing where we're proposing to do the diamond plate. We're proposing to cover all of the bullet glass, as well as the concrete flags along Greene Street, so that it provides, visual continuity and uniformity. The bullet glass steps are in okay condition at the commercial entry and the egress doors, and those we plan to keep exposed and just repair as required. This is a key plan just showing where the photographs were taken. So here's just a few photos of the existing conditions. This is the entry on Greene Street, the entry, wait, why is this jumping so fast? To the elevator. And then here a few more photos along Greene Street showing the concrete and the granite flags. This is the corner of the building now where we start to see the bullet glass panel. And then these are a few close-up photos where we see in more detail the damage that has occurred to the frames. So you can see we have a lot of vault lights that are broken and can no longer be replaced, and then broken panels, the frame of the panels. These are a few more photos along Broome Street. And again, close-up images. These are near the exit stair where we have panel that is misaligned, so that crack cannot be repaired, in areas that are also sunken. And then these are photos of the steps that we will be keeping exposed. And then these are photographs of the conditions of the basement that kind of show the damage that has been occurring and the rust that is formulating from all the water that is entering the building. Here's damage that has happened to the boiler, as well as large puddles that are happening. And then in addition to the rust, there's also mold that has been growing on the walls because of all of the water that's in the basement. Then here, if you allow me, I'm going to play a little video of a walkthrough. Hold on. I think I need to stop the share and share again. QuickTime player here. that kind of shows the condition of the basement after a rainstorm. You can see the large accumulation of water that is happening, especially right under the bullet glass panels towards the east end of Broome Street.
Yeah, we're very familiar with this problem.
Oh, my God.
So you solved it.
Okay, that's I'm open for questions. That concludes the presentation.
Yeah, I have a quick question.
Are you finished on the presentation?
Yes.
Um, could you say if you maybe should put up the drawing that showed the previously covered and the present covered?
Sure. Yep. Just 1 second. I'll bring that up. Okay. Is this one?
About what proportion is left to be covered, as it were?
Well, right now, none of the, as you can see here, none of the bullet glass is currently covered other than the steps at the
Well, I'm
entrance.
sorry, I misread the color code.
So this is showing the light pink is showing areas that we already have diamond plate, and the maroon is showing the new areas of diamond plate.
It's considerable then, so I won't do a
Yeah.
proportion. It's the first time we've had a moving picture presentation, so it's quite effective to make your point. So thank you.
Okay.
Okay, the committee questions, please.
Yeah, Anita's got.
This is on the same sort of question, the scope of work. Why is it that the last day is all by its lonesome? I guess that's the residential entrance.
You're talking about on Greene Street, right? Right here.
Over one more.
This one.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is the elevator, and it's currently granite flags. And so we were gonna keep it exposed since it already, so the rest of the sidewalk also has granite flags there. Didn't think it needed to be covered.
I see.
All right, anybody else?
Well, I'm just very curious why this has a Green Street address when the front of the building, obviously the showcase part of the building is on Broome Street.
Okay, if I may answer that question, it's because there is an elevator on the Greene Street and everyone enters from the Greene Street using the elevator. The elevator serves the sidewalk level and a few steps up a lobby that reaches all the units above. And that's why the address of the building is Greene Street. So the Broome Street side is only giving egress or exit to the stairway towards Broome Street.
Okay, so I'm just following up on Sean's comment. I had read another comment from another historic preservation group on another project that said these bullet glass panels are readily available in the marketplace. And I'm wondering just how much of a cost difference there is.
Well, I think I can respond to you, not 100%, but close to it. I am the architect of building next door as well, 55 Greene Street, across the street. And 10 years ago, we wanted to replace all of our bullet glass. And our contractor found us a manufacturer in Alabama. And we completely, we started to get a bid for the project. And overall bid was over $2 million. So, or just about $2 million, excuse me. And now we reached the same contractor and asking if this could be done here. Not that our clients actually has this kind of funds at the moment, but we've been told that at the minimum, just the material, first of all, the first company that was doing this work in Alabama is no longer in business. And then, but another company in South Carolina is actually doing these panels, but they've had numerous lawsuits regarding the load-bearing qualities of the cast iron, as well as the installation issues. Therefore, it's very difficult to be able to tell you whether or not we can do this. In my building across the street, we ended up doing just our steps as bullet glass and put lights under them, and that was the best we could do. And then we covered the rest of the bullet glass with diamond plate, so just in case in the future there's a way we can get to it. But right now, for this building, I think there's an emergency, as you saw with our video. The building really needs this thing to be addressed right away. And we're not really sure right now. And I am one of the people very much excited about the SoHo Historic District, and I would love to see these things come back. But I'm not really sure if I can bring these back. Unless we found some other place other than the people in Carolina. And if we can get it through with the load-bearing capacities that DOT requires at this time.
Can I ask a question?
Thank you.
Bo has a question, Chanel.
Can I ask, what was the context in which you were informed that the LPC would require the bullet glass rather than the diamond plate?
Sorry, if I might answer from the
Well, I don't know.
building perspective.
Yes, well, actually, the context is that when we made the application, assuming that we could get this reviewed on the staff level at Landmarks, because it's a pretty straightforward application, for several months, they could not get back to us. And then finally, when we inquired, the Landmarks attorney, Mr. Weiss, got back to us and said that there was a special provision in 2007 when the building got an approval, a building permit to work in some of the residential units inside. Now, to add up to that history, since for the last 10 years, my firm has been involved with this building. We restored the facade as per the historic requirements, and we restored the interiors and so on and so forth. And we've never seen this special permit until the attorney brought it to our attention this month. So that's the reason why, and the attorney seems to think that landmarks preservation people will actually require that we bring back the bullet glass. But, but it's very costly, but it's also that as an architect, I'm not sure if I can provide it to them in a reasonable amount period of time.
Can I just say, okay, fine. Can I ask you what was the original special permit that the attorney for Landmarks is relying on?
Well, it's because the building is a artist living workspace, and they were converting some of them to residential use, but which was not as of right. So the landmark said that if this provision says that if the building was preserving all the historic qualities of the building and providing repairs, that they would allow this to happen.
So it's like a 74 711. You got permission. Is that what it is?
That's correct.
Okay, so this is, I think Sean made a big jump here. There's a specific characteristic of your building that apparently there's an argument that under those circumstances, you would be required to use the bullet glass thought lights rather than diamond plate. I don't see that. That's not a linear argument. I don't understand it. So there's something here that we don't know. Maybe you don't know either. But I'm very
resolve this, and I think surely we understand now the situation. So
you sure? What are you sure that what? I'm sorry. You're sure what?
That there's nothing to be discovered. It seems.
Why do you think that?
Know everything that needs to be known. or can be known.
Can I just jump in?
Go ahead, Anita.
I think, again, we're working with half knowledge here.
Right.
Exactly.
But typically, when a variance was approved, it was based on the fact that the building would maintain it in a superior restored state. So that can be interpreted many different ways.
Right, that could be.
It's
But-
correct. And also, I think when we completed the facade and it was the renovation of some of the interior units in the last 10 years gradually, actually we have received a new certificate of occupancy. And this provision was not mentioned to us, and we do have a certificate of completion as per the requirements of the New York City Landmark Preservation Commission.
Well, you're saying your C of O is contingent upon a 74-711 to keep the building? Is that-
No, our CFO simply states the use of each floor and the retail levels. And it's not this, I think, I'm sorry if I didn't quite clarify it, but this provision that was given to the building in 2007, we were not aware of. And the applications that we made to landmarks to restore the facade, to restore the interiors, this issue never came up.
Okay, I think I'm going to jump in, excuse me. I think this is a very complex situation where we have several simultaneous variables. So the fact that if there is indeed a 74-711 at play here, that is a very important thing to know. If that is actively in play here, it's in play, regardless of whether you were aware of it or not. And it's totally unfortunate that you weren't aware of it if that's the case, right? But that your lack of awareness of it doesn't stop the conditions of that from applying. So I think we have a very complicated situation here, and we have to have some firm knowledge of, is the 74-711 in play? And if it is, I believe that that our understanding is then that the building is bound to being maintained at a certain level. I think it's called a class 1 or something, and what that exactly applies to would be better known by the LPC than by any of us.
Can I ask you who?
So,
And it's a question of whether this is permissible under the provisions of it.
Right, exactly. So I think instead of, getting overly involved in what may indeed be the unfortunate circumstances that you weren't, from your point of view, that you were unaware of, or overly involved in the issue of the cost of this versus the cost of that, or trends in SoHo or whatever, I think we really need to know, does LPC consider maintenance of the lights as a part of a class 1 74-711 agreement? I think it's not actually for us to opine on so much as it is for this knowledge to be learned.
Well, can I interject here?
Yeah.
So yes, my understanding is that the 74-711 is at play here. And this is why Landmarks has asked us to present to the commissioners. Because although if we didn't have that special permit, this project would be approved, no issues, right? Like we would say, we need to cover the bullet glass. They would say, okay, this is appropriate. You can go ahead. But because of this permit, they're saying you have to present to the commissioners and to the community board to see if they will accept to grant you that permit to not restore the lights and go ahead and put the diamond plate.
So basically then, it sounds like what we're being asked is to approve some sort of waiver.
Exactly, yes.
What
Natalie
said is true in a number of cases we've had, and it's not so much a waiver as another as an opinion.
Mhm.
Because it's not fixed exactly what conforming to the regulations in
Okay.
the particular building.
That's okay. Okay.
So, from our point of view, it's pretty much a routine. You know, do we accept it as something to do, something that's acceptable for any building?
All
And
right,
the
well, we'll
particular
discuss.
technicality, because it's not a question of restoring the facade properly. It's something that simply, for all practical purposes, doesn't exist and should it be replaced. It's also a question, I want to be clear that this is a reverse from, you spoke about the building across the street. This is a perfectly reversible thing. If at some time they were available at a reasonable cost and could be installed, this wouldn't in any way hinder that.
Exactly. I mean, I think we feel, I feel as the architect presenting this project to you, is that the most responsible thing we can do is preserve these panels under the diamond plate. This will allow us maybe sometime in the future to bring them back, but we really can't guarantee the costs or whether or not this company will still be in business even at this point.
Right.
We'll certainly note that, and because it's important in anything that's done that's not historic, and it is also what is carefully worded, that it's to cover them, not anything else.
Okay.
So I think this will make it less complicated than it might seem.
Yeah, okay, great. But does anybody else from the committee have any other questions? Chenault, are you done with your questions?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody in here done with questions? All right, so we'll move to the public now. Now, we have a gentleman here in the room with us who would like to speak, who lives in the building, and then we'll move to whoever's online. I'm going to ask you to come here
Thank
so
you very
that we're
much.
sure that the microphone.
Hi, I'm
grabs
Charlie.
you.
Please, everyone, 2 minutes for these comments.
Hi, everyone. I'm Charlie. I own one of the units in the building, the second floor on the corner, along with my wife. It's I think a 10-unit building. Everyone in it is, it's not like widely rented out. We love our building. We'd love to maintain it. We have been for years now working to try to solve this issue because we're kind of getting killed by the water intrusion. Sure. The language of the special permit that we're under is not to us entirely clear. We have painstakingly restored the bullet glass, meaning like gone out there and like replaced it for years, basically. The frames are cracking. We can't find it commercially available. People have gone out of business. The few people who have said they could custom manufacture it, it's not something that we can do. And every time it rains, we're getting killed further. And so the reason we're here is basically to plead our case, to say, Landmarks has said, your guys' opinion of like, help us try to, you know, fix the situation basically would be very helpful. And we're sort of trying to do everything we can. So.
Okay,
Right,
great, thank you.
Can I just ask you, are you familiar with this? I'm sure it happened before you moved into the building, but the special permit that was.
Yes, I believe it's a 2007 special permit. And when you read the language of it, our interpretation of it has been that we have replaced the glass and made repairs to,
Let me just forget that part of it.
Yeah.
What, you got the special permit, you agreed to keep the building up to a certain standard in exchange for something. So what did you get for it? Retail, was it retail?
I think I was 8 at the time, years old, so I was not there for it. But my understanding is a conversion to a residential condo building that was previously joint work artist living quarters, and the commercial units may have been a part of it. I'm not sure.
So it was a use thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a use. So I know I was wondering what the use was. That's all, because for those of you who don't know, you can ask for almost anything under 74-711, and then you agree to keep the building up to a certain standard forever. So let me just suggest that whatever we do, we will do, but you might want to look into the conditions under which you got that special permit and what can be done about that from the zoning point of view, and it might be useful to you.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well, and things have changed.
And things do.
Zoning has changed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we
All right,
understand
great.
it. We
Yeah,
understand
we
the flight,
understand
so
that
it's
you
a practical thing.
Thank you for your consideration.
Okay.
Very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you
Thank
for
you for
coming.
being here.
Yes.
All right. All right, let's move to anybody who is online. Would anybody like to speak?
Pete, we're looking for you.
I know, really.
Well, are you all right?
Pete supplied some information in the chat.
I know, but we don't have that. I don't have that on my,
There we go.
okay, a restrictive.
Yeah, he said in the chat he's not going to speak.
Repairing the sidewalk. It says specifically in the permit. Repairing the sidewalk and the glass
So
wall.
they may have agreed to.
Is there someone to speak, Susan? I'm not clear.
Well, I think we all need to be aware of, it's partly obliterated by the little thing that says one new message, but
Yeah, Peter said that he's not going to speak. He says, thank
Okay.
you.
thanks, Pete. No, but thank you for your information, Pete. We appreciate it. LPC permit number blah, 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 specifically notes that the work includes repairing the sidewalk cast iron and glass vault cover.
What year was this? 2007?
Seven. So 18 years ago.
The problem is this has so much sidewalk.
Yeah.
This has a lot of glass.
Oh,
vault
I
sidewalk.
think we can approve.
All right, well, we'll talk about it in our business
So, I
session.
mean, you know,
No, I get it.
it's a lot. It's a lot. We don't need to get into
Yeah,
that.
we
We got it.
okay.
I think we got it.
Yeah.
At least.
Thank you guys very much for your
Okay,
consideration.
you're welcome.
If
Have a
there's
great
anything else
evening.
we can share to be helpful.
All right.
Bye. Thank you guys very much. Nice night.
I'm lost. Is there, are there other people to speak?
No, there's nobody else to speak.
Hey. Thank you for your presentation. I think we understand a great deal and
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Oh, the declaration is dated 2012.
okay, the next application is 432 Hudson Street. To restore the front facade, remove fire escape, replace windows, install shop front at street level, add stair bulkhead and mechanical equipment at the roof level, construct a two-story extension at the rear yard, installed terrace pavers and window monitors at the existing roof over the first floor in the rear yard.
Good evening. I'm Lucas Hafley, Project Director for Peter Penoyer Architects.
I'm Peter Penoyer, architect.
Louis Gleason, Director of Conservation. And I'm going to share my screen.
Thank you. We're privileged to have the project to restore this wonderful but derelict house. We've never encountered a house that is in such dire shape. I will not get into great detail about the restoration and conservation about the facades, but you're welcome to ask questions about it. I would go to the next slide. This shows the location. The color coding is to indicate the relative height of various neighboring buildings.
Oh, look at that.
That's the subway.
Wow, that's really something.
Yeah, so this is a very useful photograph for us because it shows this is 1936 and it shows the shop lines, which were a feature of the building. You go to the next. This is the history of the expansion. So the building currently has a full rear yard extension, which we will not expand at the ground level. Go to next. So there's our tax photo, and this is what it looks like today. The neighbor next door had been painting the plywood green to cover up graffiti, and that's why you're seeing a green panel there. Go to the next. This is sections showing existing on the top, proposed on the bottom. Going from the top of the lower right-hand picture, you'll see we have a bulkhead which will contain the landing of the stair. We propose no occupancy whatever on the roof, no terracing, no pavers. We're simply intending to get a bulkhead to get the stair access to the roof. On the same section, you'll see a 7-foot addition on the second floor, rear yard, into the rear yard. The darker shaded area, the darker shaded area is the neighbor's extension. And our rear yard extension is getting a new roof and light registers, which are no higher than the existing parapet. So we have a red line there to show you that we're not making that any taller. We are also showing excavation under the rear yard extension. That is outside of the footprint of the building. It does not require underpinning of the house itself. However, we will have full geotech reporting, engineering, and follow all the protocols, which we understand are very serious about excavation. That is not part of our presentation tonight, however, but Landmarks has requested that information and we are preparing it. So in summary, our application is for removal of the fire escape, construction of the missing storefront, addition of a bulkhead, 1 7-foot, 1-story rear yard extension, and new parapet construction at the rear. Next. This is the before and after. Current condition on the left is what it looked like when it was designated in 1969. That has not changed. On the right is a storefront which we have designed based on what we can see of details from historic photos of adjacent storefronts. Next. Here are some of the facade degradations, which we need not get into. However, the brick on the front of the building is good brick. We're not going to remove it. We're going to preserve and patch and do what we need to do to make this right. And Lou created a 92-page building condition report. So we've really poured over every corner of this. However, when we have cracked and collapsing lintels and sills, we will have to replace. Next. The upper left photograph is actually in 1969, when this was designated. You can see that the storefront had already been removed. On the upper right is today's condition. Lower right is what it looks like from the inside. And we're very happy that the existing cast iron columns from the original construction are still there. And we intend to restore those. On the lower left, you see the adjacent storefront in a photograph from 1940, the tax photo. Those details are what we are emulating in our storefront design. Go next. This is our storefront. As you can see, we're respecting the relationship of the original cast iron columns to these design. This storefront will be entirely made of wood. It will be painted. The cap on the cornice will be sheet metal. The railing you see on the lower left is replicated from a piece that we found. The open sidewalk in the middle is typical of this block. In other words, the areaway railing does not cross on the areaway line that you typically see like on the Upper East Side. Next. These are details of our design based on our observation of historic photos and our research into what this Victorian character shopfront would have looked like. So this is all new construction, all to be made of wood. Next. These are doors on Hudson showing the condition where the fence just leads to the front door and does not cross over the whole areaway. And these are the various kinds of doors there are. Next. Here we are showing our metals, our materials, the sheet metal, the the brownstone at the base of all these houses. There's a brownstone base onto which the shop front sits. The original bricks, which we tested cleaning, and they come out and they're quite beautiful. They have a really beautiful color. And then we have, for the roof railing, cornice, window, door, and storefront, we have Sherwin-Williams Jasper. And for the roof and entry railings, tricorn black. And these conform, we feel, very closely to what would have been there historically. Next. This is a plan of the roof showing our bulkhead. You can see that our enclosure is just about getting the stair to the roof. The green patches on the right are the required green roof. We are proposing mechanical equipment, which will be set back and away from the lot line, from the street front. We are also showing that we have a safety railing along the Hudson side, which describes the west boundary of the green rectangles of our green roof components. So that's our roof plan. Next, these are photos that were requested to show our bulkhead on the roof. Obviously, you won't see it this way, but they wanted to see what it really looked like up there. On the lower left, you see that the bulkhead is marginally visible. We circled it in red. And that's from angular view taken down Hudson Street. And then the other one is straight across where you do not see it. Next, this is from the corner where we have the most visibility. So if you look at the rooftop markup arrow, you see it's right there. You see the little top edge of it. We have maintained a low ceiling in that bulkhead. We've also canted the roof there to slope it to minimize the impact. Next, this is an axonometric to show you the existing rear yard extension, and our parapets now become light registers, which allow light down into the room below. That is not taller than the existing parapet. We're not extending up. And you also see our one-story extension, which is approximately 7 feet with a railing on top of it. I note that it is not as deep as the other adjacent rear yard extensions. And the diagram on the top shows how much and how all the neighbors to the south have extended beyond the level we are proposing. Next. We needn't get into the details. As I said, we've never seen a house that has been allowed to degrade to this point. We were worried about bricks falling out, and we were looking into doing some shoring now. This is on the back. This brick is not high quality. This wall was built poorly from its inception, and we would never remove brick if we could possibly save it, but this wall is completely compromised, and it's in just an appalling condition. The owner of this house wasn't paying her taxes or her loans. It was just like a derelict property, but that's the story for another day. Next, this also shows problems in the rear of the building, bricks that have actually fallen off, and all sorts of other problems. There on the upper left is our parapet, and that's the height of our proposed new parapet. Next, this is looking on the right. We are looking back at the back of our proposed elevation. The one story with the tripartite window arrangement there, French terrace doors, is our extension, and that's leading to the roof of the room below. If you look at the curves left and right, those are the curved ceiling inside those light registers, and those will bring light down and wash the walls in the room below. On the left, you see a scale figure of someone standing in that room. And above there is a trellis design which will sit on that terrace to allow us to grow some wisteria and clematis and other green materials. You also note that on the rear facade, which is new, we're looking at new brick, we're looking at new windows, and we're looking at a restored facade. And there's also a safety fence rail on the roof. Next. These are the renderings. This is our final image. These are, computer-generated renderings based on our drawings. You left and right, you see the light registers, windows that will bring light into the walls of the room below. And you see our restored facade. And on the right, you see our restored facade with the fire escape removed. The cornice is completely rotted out. It will be replicated exactly what was there in new sheet metal. And then the painted dark green storefront, which will restore this very wonderful layer of history that we found. I think many people with these houses originally wanted to tear off the storefronts, but this is part of the history of the block. And these were houses that were fitted out with storefronts when Trinity Church developed this. Next, I think that's
the final slide.
That's our presentation. I realize I went through it, and we will return to any image you want. My colleagues, Lucas and Lou, may know some more answers than I do, so we will answer whatever questions you have.
Could you go back to the first of the section, I think at the very beginning, that showed how the rear facade's being rebuilt?
I'm going to zoom in.
This one?
Okay. It's good. Oh, that's I see. Okay, it makes clear. You're showing foliage behind a railing or behind windows.
Correct.
Are these the windows you spoke of that give light to the restaurant?
That's right. These are the monitor windows that allow legal light and air to the space below. We're proposing to add planter boxes above for some more greenery. We feel like that would that's something that even the neighbors would appreciate in this rear yard.
I understand. And then back to at the end, the renderings of the rear facade. Okay, and the one before that. I'm not clear what this is.
So what we're showing here is we're showing two section drawings. We're cutting through the same part of the building and looking in different directions. So the one on the right is cutting through that rear yard extension, looking towards the west at the rear facade of 432 Hudson. The drawing on the left is cutting through the same spot, looking towards the east. And what we're seeing is part of the side of 66 Morton Street, which abuts our building at the rear lot line.
So everything that's white at the bottom of each of these images is inside of the building.
Right.
It's not what you'd see.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And so the final one is the restoration, if you will, of the rear facade.
Right.
Correct. And you can see on the left-hand side that our neighbor's extension is quite a bit deeper and taller than what we're proposing.
Right. Okay.
It's a large bulkhead at the
all
roof as well.
my questions. Susan.
Okay, great. Anita?
Well, I think it's a lovely project. I really like it. But the one thing that I guess I want to ask about is it's now a single family.
That's correct.
So you have no retail on the ground floor.
No.
And so because the big difference here compared to so many in this district is there's only one door.
That's correct.
That's correct.
If you don't have retail, that's what.
So, right, we consider this to be an adaptive reuse of a building that was that had multiple uses, and we felt that we wanted to maintain the storefront look of all the other buildings on the block, but we wanted to maintain the privacy of a single family home with only one entrance.
And so the conversion is from a storefront plus a one family to a full one family.
Although there wasn't on the C of O. I mean, it's a simple one family.
Right. Yeah. Our research indicates that the conversion it's as of right. We're not asking for a change of use, but it is a different use than what it was historically. Yes.
Right. Yeah. But from the present day, no.
Well, present day, it's
dwelling units
vacant.
are being lost. That's the point.
Right. Currently, there are apartments upstairs, but the building's been vacant for several years, and is in essentially a derelict condition.
Right. Is that not a one family apartment above, or is that several?
It's one family on the C of O.
There, up until recently, there were multiple apartments above, so there was one apartment per floor upstairs.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else? Brian? Nope. All right. We don't have any questions here in the room. Thank you for a very clear presentation. Chenault, do you have any other questions?
No, done. Thank you.
Okay, let's go to the public and see if there's anybody who'd like to speak. We don't see any raised hands, so I think we can move on to our business session.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Be well. Thank you.
It's one I pass frequently, so I'm always concerned with my neighborhood and having pleasant views. Okay, I will now turn on tracking. Washington Place. I think we resolved everything there.
Well,
Waverly.
Waverly Pl.
that's the one with the mega big gates,
Yes.
45-inch, almost 4-foot gate.
Yeah, do we want to, I think we all are a little concerned about
I'm against it.
the size of that gate. I mean, I know that one half of it will,
I thought it was
Yes.
it's a split gate, is it not?
it's a split gate, and the applicant said that one half of the gate, while operable, will basically remain in a fixed position unless there's a particular need
Right, yeah, I got that.
to open. But the thing is, that doesn't really address our concern. Because if it's intruding 4 feet onto the sidewalk or 3 feet into the sidewalk, whether both are open or one is open, it's still the same amount of intrusion onto the sidewalk. So I think we need to talk about, whether we think that that's a good idea, or whether we want to suggest a different way to configure that gate where the side panels.
Well, we don't have to go
are-
back.
Is this because it's unusually wide steps?
We don't have to redesign it, but
Right.
The building looks like all the others, that's why I'm asking.
But it's bigger.
The steps are wider than
Again, that's a big gate for these little tiny sidewalks.
Yeah.
it is. It's
no, but are the steps wider than normal steps?
here. It's too.
Well, certainly it's not wider than the stoops on that block. I
Okay.
looked at both adjacent townhouses, they're exactly the same. And the detail on the railing is exactly the same,
And what are their gates like?
just like that. Just like the one that was shown to us today.
Same size.
Was it approved?
That's what I thought from.
It must have been approved sometime along the way.
Yeah.
Well, we could still say
Original.
No.
that we think it's too big.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's one way to get
I
rid of.
don't think we want to contradict ourselves. I understand exactly what's said, and half of it is adequate and is to be self-closing, which are all good. But I think we'd be contradicting ourselves if suddenly the same gate on a different house is too wide.
Well, did we approve it? I mean, does that really?
Maybe
did
it's
it
not
come through
approved.
us?
Maybe it's not even approved. We don't know.
All of these are during our time.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, the last 6 years, 5 years.
Well, it was too big then too.
And that's a good point, Chanel, because we have been approving these kind of gates. We've been pushing back because these are changing the character of the street fronts of the
And
street.
now it's sort of like a house is amiss if it doesn't have one, because it's spoiling the look of the row.
Yeah, it does make it very difficult to justify turning one down when there's been others.
Well, except I will say, as many of us know, this is one of the toughest streets for security, whereas the middle of 12th Street between 5th and 6th Avenue is not the same kind of problem. But this one really is close to the heartbeat of.
This is all has to do with, I mean, it's been amplified. It's been a bad block always, but the Washington Square has been cleaned up, which is simply moved over to the street station. And I happen to have been out very late several nights in the last 2 weeks, and it's now into Sheridan Square's subway station. I'm careful to line up when I get on the train with where the turnstile is. It's
All right.
yeah.
Good. Anyway, okay, listen, here's what I think is that we should approve this because, I mean, I agree that it's too
It's
big.
like every other one we've got.
But because of the fact that there are others that are the same on the block that presumably have been approved, and, you know, this area and this block only gets worse. It has not been getting any better. It might get better in the future. We'll see, but we don't have crystal balls. And I wouldn't want these people to be disadvantaged, you know, because this is the moment where we decided that, well,
There's one across the street.
Too late, out of the bag.
So I think, you know, I would suggest that we approve it.
It came to us as a violation. They put the gate in, a very ugly gate, and it came to us as a violation. And I passed, it's one of my standard passings, and the person had simply gone over the gate and camped out on the stoop to spend the night.
So we understand. I mean, most of us know more than we want to talk about here.
So.
And I wrote something about already as we've approved others on the block.
All right. Bo, do you want to vote against?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
And 4th Street, they did bring it in the sides to make it less wide.
Too low.
The applicant said they would go from the current proposal of 24 inches and raise it 6 inches to 30 inches.
Yeah, I noted the applicant agreed to raise the height of the gates to 30 inches.
Right.
That'll be it resolved. Broadway Broome.
Well, so you're saying that we're all approving these two applications and moving on to the next one.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
I don't think there's much more to say.
We can't
Did
require.
you object to
I don't like
approving,
them,
or-
but-
I don't like them either,
Yeah,
but I
we don't
can't.
like them, but.
What are we talking about now? 140?
And we're just confirming our
Well,
approval.
again,
of
these
1
are
and 2.
also really tough blocks. I mean,
Everybody's talking at once.
really tough.
Yes, okay.
These
So
two are approved,
moving-
right?
Moving on to Broadway and Broome.
Okay.
Okay. Now, here we have a thorny thing. It's already a discordant set of windows, and there's not a master plan, and this further discords, if that's a proper ending for a word,
Who's a musician here? I don't know.
The facade that we look at now without a master plan.
I don't like it. I don't like the application. I think
No.
it's changing these pivot windows. I understand they're convenient, but they really change the character of the building. And double hung is trying
And to upset it because
to.
it's hard to clean, hard it seems to be.
I know, but listen,
There are ways to clean windows. I don't know.
well, double hung flip down and people spend lifetimes designing these things. But I don't think we need awning windows and pivot windows and.
Transoms or whatever. I believe that the windows that he's proposing or that the client is proposing for the side street is on Broome Street is the type of window that should be used on Broadway as well. They're triple glazed, they're wood, they're double hung appearance.
From them. They are real double hung? No.
No,
but do we?
top is fixed, the bottom.
I like that. That's a good.
But it's the thing we've based several denials on, which is the look of the facade when the windows are open. And we've gone back to double hung that go up and down like double hungs are meant to do because of that. I don't have a list, but there are ample examples that we've denied this operation of a window, whatever it looks like, closed. If we think this is a case that.
Well, they shouldn't be like casement windows. There's no precedent for having any kind of window that goes outside the facade. It catches the light different and just changes the facade. Yeah, completely.
Awakened us to that the first time we had one that I remember, and we've been consistent in it.
Yeah. Well, essentially then we have two reasons to deny this. One being that, we're concerned about the lack of a master plan here. And if we wind up with, choose your own page on the catalog, on the window catalog protocol for window replacements in a historic district, we know that that will be a regrettable choice. And so that's one reason, is just the lack of a master plan. And the other is more particular to these windows that have been proposed. And certainly on the one facade, which has where there was just a single pane with a possibility of like a scenery kind of divider. And then the other one, which, as Brian pointed out, is certainly preferable, but as Anita pointed out, it's still not good enough for a historic standard because its method of operation
is significant
here. And as you have said, we have consistently pushed back on that kind of thing. So I think we just have to deny this.
To approve this with their pipe dream that this becomes the standard for the master plan, the whole building ends up tilting and turning and twirling.
Right. And that is not any kind of binding anything. That's just, that's just like a wish and a prayer.
That we deny the application and recommend reasonable reproduction of the existing windows.
Well, I would say be more specific. Existing is very confusing because existing right now is not original. I would just say historic or double hung wood windows, period.
This double hung would be the most historic thing to say.
Yeah.
Double hung would be the most historic, but single hung are the closest proximate appearance, even when open.
Right.
It's just the bottom half of a single hung goes up and down. The top half is stationary.
It doesn't
So-
go up and down, does it? Or it's
Well,
got all
not-
pivots.
Not this one.
Not
Oh,
what
yeah.
they are specifying.
Oh, yeah, it could be a fixed.
We're
top one.
saying
Yeah.
double hung is preferable, single hung would be the only other option. We don't want any casements or tilts or awnings or any of those.
I'm looking at-
On window with or without an operable upper cell.
Yes,
That sounds good.
and by the way,
Doesn't
the,
allow for any variation in the design.
that's right. Even though we don't have a master plan, the existing building is dominated by double hung looking windows. Everything on their elevations, 90% of the windows are double hung looking.
And Broome Street is all double hung. It hasn't been modified. It's all. has
Right,
the
so this
original design.
introduces a whole new thing that we don't want to see introduced.
Right.
Boom.
Oh,
Right.
there's not double hung good windows. It's you, yeah, it's been proven.
They were.
They were, yeah.
Okay,
Well, also they don't catch the wind or the light.
that's light.
So there's a lot of that. Onward.
We good,
Yeah.
Chanel?
One second, I'm writing.
Yep.
I just wanted to get the preamble to that done, so I don't miss it. 10th Street. What a confusing, I got it all, but it was in such a confusion, isolation of information. I'll just rely on the presentation to get it in the right order.
Okay, this
I
one.
don't like the windows when they came before on the parlor floor, and I don't like them now.
But it sounds like that's not before us.
It's
Right,
not-
it's not. It makes the restoration of the areaway window look wimpy.
Well, it's just odd, that's all. But it looks less odd than it did.
If we could start at I'll go in there in the order that things were originally presented, the areas, and then go through the whole area. The rooftop. It seemed like the only thing that was discussed and is the windows that show are clearly slide.
Oh, yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I think that should be modified so that it's not such a
The
contrast.
facade windows then should be of a historic design because they show.
And scale and size. Because right now it just looks super modern.
Well, that would bring the scale in. If they're historic.
Historic, okay,
Yeah.
good. I think everything else was okay. I don't remember any other.
Yeah, it's okay.
Everything else was fine.
The only other point I would like to make, did come up in the conversation, is the rear facade. Are we taking the whole project, or are we doing it?
And you don't have anything else on the roof, right?
No, well.
It was nice that they kept the artist skylight.
I think Brian's still considering for a moment here.
Well,
Rear
I'm
facade.
talking about the rear facade at the rooftop. So I don't know if you want me to mention it in
Oh, right.
considering the roof, or
We'll mention it now. It'll be a nice transition.
well, so we saw in the last presentation, 432 Hudson, how the rear facade had a very nice brick cornice. It's rather subtle, but it's just enough to give that back wall some definition. I think that's what's needed on this project
Agreed.
at 22 East
I know.
10th Street.
Between the top window and the
Yeah, here.
parapet, that big flat, I mentioned it.
Yeah, you mentioned it when we were.
I agree. It looks weird. It looks like the cornice fell off.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
You're just saying a cornice on the facade, right?
Yes.
No, okay.
Well, it could be a cornice or something else.
Yes, it could be a corbel brick, something to highlight that top line.
Because it's the back, it doesn't necessarily want a big cornice. That would look odd too.
A termination is what.
Some sort of resolution, yeah. In the resolution.
So clever. But you can't see, I mean, it's a pretty minimal impact on the view except for those sliders.
And the windows are not original, but they are historic feelings. So.
Yeah. Although everybody gets them so wide, I think that, but
It's okay.
I'll take it. Yeah.
In that context.
Don't have the thing up.
Well, I don't, that's not.
The bottom one looks like very expensive. I would suggest that if it doesn't, that its edges conform to the extreme edges of the three windows above, which is what we've been using as a standard. So that it doesn't go wider than the offstage side of the windows above. Does that make sense?
I lost you completely.
I don't understand what you said.
The basement. The basement.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, they do line up at the edges.
Do they line up?
They line up with the windows above.
Yeah, they do.
They're rendered as such a blank wall, it looked like.
And we do have some nice punch. The facade is very quiet.
I like it.
And nice, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all good with that here in the room.
And I can spot an excavation and a underpinning a mile away. It wasn't presented, but it doesn't exist, but it was said it was going to exist. So I think we just have to modify the usual one that represented that it will be done properly and it has to be done properly.
Yeah.
And to emphasize that that's an enormous amount of underpinning too.
It is.
Yeah.
And these are old buildings with rubble foundational, but they got pretty good at it. So I was going to suggest that they contact their neighbors because it always seems to go better when there's some communication between the people doing the construction and
The neighborhood will find out, that's for sure.
Yeah, but you know, it's better in the beginning. It
I know
seems to help.
It sounds like they already have very close communication with 24, but nothing was said about number 20.
Well, they're taking out a huge amount.
Yeah.
Yeah, or the full length.
So to be clear, the only modifications we've asked for are the window on the penthouse and the top of the rear facade.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's it.
I'll be consolidated about the resolution then.
Mm-hmm.
Greene Street.
Oy vey.
Someone said something about the application was something to do with the underneath, but it's not.
I think we should
Area
just.
with diamond plate and
It's a tough one.
we routinely recommended it and what's one to do no matter what the conditions are for the change of use.
All right, I think Bo has something to say.
Can we just say that we approve the installation of the diamond plate under the supposition that this does not conflict with a prior determination of, you could say, the LPC or whatever. Right. We just have to qualify it. I would approve.
I tried to hear who was talking, but
Bo is speaking and he has a very good idea, which is.
No. I just heard that. I mean, the discussion, there was so much discussion. And to be clear, this comes to us usually the same way a blade sign comes. If it's not clear that it's a routine decision, it comes to us, even if it seems self-evident what the decision will be by the commission.
We know why we're looking at it. We just, I mean, we have to be practical here. This is a very costly.
Right. And this was one of the principles of giving so much more to the staff people to approve, was that there is a clear line, and if it technically goes over it, it comes to us. Because if it hadn't been for the peculiarity, it would have been routinely passed as all the others are.
Yeah, we're good sports. We're happy.
I think it's very, very important here to make a big deal about the reversibility of this. I think the only way I know that I would approve this, with all, sympathy to Sean's concern about the potential implications on his building and others in Soho. The only way I feel comfortable approving this is if we really make a big deal about the reversibility of this. Because if the 74-711, if the deal that was cut was that this class 1 maintenance would occur, and that's what allowed for the use that allows the young man who spoke here today to have his place, we have to take that seriously.
Well, it even calls it out.
And it can't be that, we know times change, and we are empathetic in these situations. And clearly they have a horrible situation that does demand immediate remediation. But I am very uncomfortable with just sort of, well, that was then and this is now. Let's move on. We were very diligent for a certain amount of time, and now we don't really feel like it should include the same things it included then. I mean, that's not really for us to do.
The application foresees that without saying it. It says to install diamond plate over the existing deteriorating vaults line. It doesn't fill up the crevice with concrete that could be jackhammered out without.
But I also think that we should make something of that, and that in our resolution, and that, we can say we understand that as fabricators and technology, or whatever you want to call it, currently exist, we wouldn't want to burden the owners with a repeat situation where they replace it with something inferior that will fail, or where the owner of the fabrication company is no longer, where the company is no longer in business, or whatever. I mean, I don't think, that is practical, but we don't know that at some point in the future. I was just online and I saw, many more fabricators than the applicant indicated. And it looks like there are fabricators. Now, granted, this is just cursory and I have no professional way to evaluate any of this, but I will say there are more fabricators than she indicated. There do seem to be ones who are trying to address what the past problems were with these things. So the possibility does exist.
Right.
That we could even say we would prefer, but we understand the practical. Yeah, and that in the future, it would be good if
and to ensure that this temporary thing doesn't preclude the possibility of it.
That's right.
Right. I mean, basically, we would be saying on a non-precedential basis, in a way, that on this one particular thing, we've been asked to review this one particular thing, and that on a non-precedential basis, we are amenable to the diamond plate in the situation where there is a 74-711 at play. But note that in the future, the door must be left open or that our preference clearly would be.
That is much in the talking about the building across the street. The one that she done before.
Right. Yeah, but if it didn't have a 74-711, then it's a different condition.
It's just the mechanical thing of putting down the diamond plate doesn't do anything to preclude.
Does no harm, right?
I don't know if it does, but I'll accept it anyway, you know. It's,
I see this as a precedent for other applications that want to replace their vaults with diamond plate. And we've seen some of those, and I would prefer on all of them that whether there's this other provision with LPC or not, that I really like that reversibility.
Yeah.
I like the fact that we're providing some waterproofing, some longevity, and the future possibility that it may be restored.
Yeah, I think that's important.
good. Let's do it.
Can we move on?
Yes,
Yes.
thank you. That's good. Hudson,
This is interesting. I saw this online for sale, and it looked like the most beautifully pristine building.
Oh, boy.
In a restaurant. I'm really
Just bring your toothbrush.
Did they
And
use the architects?
trowel.
How much was it, Sean? Remember how much it was online?
I don't have any notes about objections.
No objections. It's a beautiful project. These guys know what they're doing. I thought it was lovely.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was good.
I'm fine with it.
I'm good.
Oh, just one thing regarding, apparently the excavation is not part of tonight's presentation, but it sounds like there will be excavation. So I don't.
No, the excavation was, but the engineering report, he said. The engineering firm has not been engaged.
Okay.
So we have standard
Find
language.
the excavation, that's as far as they've gone.
Well, I think it doesn't hurt to include our standard language regardless of where this is at in the pipeline.
Although this one has a huge amount. This is the
I
one that
warned
has a
them.
lot of excavation, not the other one.
Going to be deny unless kind of thing.
Yeah.
The whole excavation and an underpinning.
It's all been appropriately reviewed,
An angle of.
And this building is next door but one to the place that the lady who just sold the oldest building in the village took an apartment, so she'd still have a place. And diagonally across from the backyard toward the east is the building Agnes DeMille lived in.
What? You know the scoop, man. We are up on it now.
So it should be afforded extra care. She would have looked into the back garden if she were here.
Hey, Bo, you asked a question about how much this was.
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
$8.7 million.
Whoa.
Get out.
Really?
Yes.
It's sold for that?
7 million.
Location.
2025, yep.
8 million.
8.7.
Whoa.
You know how much we paid for my house?
8.7.
5,000.
How much?
125,000.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, times have changed.
So drinks on you.
You really have with the expenses.
All right.
Thank
You
you,
can look
everybody.
forward-
Thanks, Paul.
If it's
Happy holidays.
forward to 2 meetings in
See you
January.
next week.
See you at full board, Eugene, in person.
See you next week.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
In January, be prepared for 2 meetings. Finally, the Canal Street application is meant to come.
Yeah.
For now.
Anything you say.
Thanks, Eugene.
Yeah.
Thank you for your help. Good night, everybody.
Good
And
night.
I'll draw on my best Edwardian English to talk about the reversibility of diamond plate.
Yes. Good luck.
We end the meeting.
Thank you all. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Are we off? Yeah.
Thank you.